We've become overly obsessed with the greatest freedom our country has to offer. Freedom itself. So I'm a big fan of Father Mike Schmitz. If you don't know who he is, he's a Catholic priest, hence the name Father. But he does some work with Ascension Press. You can find his videos on YouTube. But I think he's awesome. I think he's probably one of the best people to speak to millennials and Gen Zers because he preaches truth, but he does it in a humorous and gentle but transparent way, which I think is the perfect formula for those two generations, the millennials and Gen Zers. But anyway, they just came out with a video titled, "What is Real Truth?" And he talks about the difference between subjective and objective truths. And so here's the one that I always use, sushi, because I love sushi. Here's a subjective truth. I love sushi. It's specific to me, the subject, and it doesn't contradict reality. So it's a subjective truth. It's specific to me and it doesn't contradict reality. Objective truths, though, are different. And here's what Father Mike has to say about objective truths.
We have to realize there is objective statements that are objectively true or false, regardless of whether I know it, like it, or believe it.
So he goes on to give examples of how objective truths, they don't really care if we know them, like them, or believe them. And there's nothing that we can do to change them. They just are. But going back to the subjective truths, we've heard this comment before, and he references it in the video too. Your truth or my truth, right? Things that are specific to the subject. Those are subjective truths. And they've led to the you do you, I'll do me mentality. So typically, like maybe in a disagreement, if I don't want to offend you and you tell me you're going to do something that I disagree with, I'll just say, hey man, like do you, I'll do me, you do you. That's so commonplace now. Like whatever you feel like, whatever you think, whatever you want, you just go ahead and do that. And here's what Father Mike has to say about that.
Question, is all we have subjective truth? Now, there's a problem because if all we have is subjective truth, then we only have one of three options when it comes to disagreement. See, maybe I say I like Domino's and you say you like Papa John's. And I would say, okay, I like Domino's. And you'd say, I like Papa John's. And I'd say, I like Domino's, I like Papa John's. Well, one thing we could do is we could get a bunch of people on our side and take a vote and say, okay, who says they like Papa John's more than they like Domino's? And whoever gets the most votes wins. That's called mob rule. So that's one option. You have mob rule. Secondly, you could say, I like Papa John's more than Domino's. And maybe you're stronger than me and you can like, poof, punch me and now I'm on the ground and you're like, yeah, see, I was right. Papa John's is better. And you have might makes right as an option. Or you have this third option, which is, you know what? You like Domino's, I like Papa Murphy's or Papa John's, all the different pizzas. You like Domino's, I like Papa John's, you like Domino's, I like Papa John's. You know what? I can't talk to you anymore, I'm leaving. Or you say, you know what? I can't talk to you anymore, I'm leaving. And then we just go our separate ways. In fact, that's where we're at in a lot of ways in our culture right now, isn't it?
And he's spot on, right? In the first example, he said basically one side gets enough people on their side and we outvoice the opposition. So now your ideas don't matter. In the second one, we disagree so passionately that I am going to physically impose myself on you and force you to accept my beliefs and my ideas. And then in the third example, we disagree and you know what? Now we're just not going to talk anymore. And we see that everywhere. There's such hypersensitivity and it can be really volatile too. The problem with each one of those scenarios though, right? Like I get more people on my side or we duke it out or we just don't talk anymore. Like that indifference, we don't talk anymore. The problem with each one of those is that they eventually lead to perpetual division, right? And we wonder like, why is our country so divided? For people who say that America is bad, I'll say this to you. Is America perfect? No. But it's still the best country on earth. If there's anything to hate about America today, here it is. We've become overly obsessed with the greatest freedom our country has to offer. Freedom itself. Right? Like, I can do whatever I want, even if it defies reality. And you can't tell me jack. Because if you do, well, I'm going to get more people to talk louder than you. I'm physically going to do something to you. Or we're just not going to talk anymore. And again, that just completely divides us totally. Totally. So if there's anything that you hate about our country, like maybe that would be one to hate. And not to be so negative, but like what a horrible way to live. I'm either going to speak louder than you, I'm going to fight you, or I'm just not going to talk to you. Why are we divided? Hello? What do you mean, why are we divided? Because of what we're doing. This supremacy of subjective truths. You can define life for yourself, and I can define it for myself, only to an extent. Only to an extent to which it doesn't contradict reality. Because when it's just subjective truths, like, where do you go from there? And here's the thing, that's kind of the direction we're going. So how do we change course? We get back to accepting objective truths. Objective truths are like the water hole in the animal world. It's where all different animals from all different backgrounds, all different ways of life can go and be together. There's like a common ground there, like they all need water. Objective truths are things that people from all different backgrounds, different ways of life can go and accept, like it's the common ground. We can accept them even though we live differently, even though we come from different backgrounds. And from that, right, just from that, we can start building relationships. Just like the animals need the water for life, we need objective truths to give our lives structure. Because without them, with just subjective truths, like Father Mike said in the video, you only end up with division. And we're not supposed to be divided, we're supposed to be united. And so by accepting objective truths, we take that first step. Just like the animals need the water, we need objective truths. Just like the water's there for them to drink, objective truths are there for us to accept. By doing that, we can form relationships, which is the objective, because that's genuine togetherness. That's real unity, not something that's forced on other people. That's genuine. And by doing that, we can humbly share the truth, beauty, and goodness, which is the Catholic Christian faith, for all to enjoy. I'm Dallas. Have a blessed day.